Tensions appear to be rising again in East Asia over what the United States has described as the militarization of the South China Sea. Reports say Beijing has installed missiles on artificial islands it has built in the region. The move has now provoked the White House to warn of unspecified consequences. Officials in Washington say the issue has been raised with China, which has failed to confirm that it had installed missiles in the region. But it has nonetheless emphasized that it has the right to build what it has described as defense facilities in the Spratly archipelago, an area which is located in waters south of mainland China and is also claimed by Vietnam and the Philippines.
Oh, well, not really. I mean, it's obvious that the U.S. has primarily militarized the South China Sea by its regular deployment of aircraft carriers and battleships into the region. China, of course, this is China's coastland. This is the area through which every invasion of China in history has taken place, through the South China Sea. So they are, of course, concerned with defending their country and being prepared to deal with any threat to the freedom of navigation. The Western claim of needing to defend freedom of navigation against China is rather absurd, since almost all of the trade in the region is with China, and they are the ones who need to defend freedom of navigation.
The South China Sea issue has been brewing for years. China, the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia and Vietnam have already made competing claims over the area, an area that has vital global shipping routes and what are believed to be significant oil and natural gas deposits. China has, over the past few years, made land reclamation efforts on reefs it controls and has also built civilian facilities there. It has even created a strong military presence in the region, and these efforts have clearly pitted it against the United States. Both the United States and China have been trying to avoid anything that would escalate tensions in South China Sea, but it appears that developments in other areas are raising the stakes there.
In a situation like this, it is very dangerous that Trump allows sometimes the more militarist layers within the U.S. military and intelligence circles to have a little leeway to strike a tough pose, which could very suddenly lead to war, as we see with Bibi Netanyahu threatening war against Iran or against Syria. This could be a world war. This is a very dangerous situation.
Tensions between the US and China have also been rising in other areas as well. An example of this could be a complaint by the Pentagon that the Chinese military base in Djibouti has on several occasions targeted US military planes with laser. China has denied this, but it could easily show how military sensitivities between Beijing and Washington are increasing worldwide.
I would say that the reason we're now seeing this complaint coming from the U.S., as well as other complaints having to do with actions in Djibouti and so forth, has more to do with the fact that you now have the entire economic team, or most of it, from the Trump administration in China negotiating changes for their trade. I think what's happening now is an attempt to sort of strike a tough pose, including sort of a military challenge, which I don't think is going to go anywhere in terms of any kind of danger, but it's meant to give a certain advantage to the U.S. in the negotiations with China, and China is quite open to negotiating.
The rise of tensions between the US and China comes at a time that tensions in the Korean peninsula appear to be subsiding. This could be a sign that Beijing is dissatisfied about what it views as a successful diplomacy on the part of the Americans in East Asia. It is still not clear in what specific direction this sense of dissatisfaction would proceed. What is clear, though, is that China has over the past year been trying to expand its military presence internationally. And this is already a new challenge for the United States.